I'm going to show you how to do scheduling, sleeping, and waiting in your Orchestrator workflows. Let's get started. Hi everyone, I'm Watrous from VVork. If this is your first time here and you want to learn about automating, programming, and monitoring in VMware environments, you're in the right place. Start now by subscribing and click the bell so that you don't miss a thing. Welcome everyone. As you can see, this video is going to introduce our overall topic, which is how to perform scheduling, sleeping, and waiting within your Orchestrator workflows. But before you jump in, take a look up in the upper right-hand corner. You'll find one of those YouTube card things that has a playlist for all the videos in this series. So if you want to jump back and forth between different ones, or you have a particular technique that you want to see, take a look at that playlist. As you can see, there are a number of different schema elements that you can use in vRealize Orchestrator to perform scheduling, sleeping, and waiting. If you look really closely on this slide, you'll notice that all the schema elements I'm showing you are actually from the HTML5 VRO client. Now, if you're still using vRealize Orchestrator 7 and still using the Java-based client, this video series is still applicable to you. The icons will look slightly different, and the user interface is a little bit different, but you should be able to take all the concepts that we're talking about in this video and the next 7 or so and apply them equally to VRO7. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, we got 8 different schema elements, and what are they for? They're used for scheduling, sleeping, and waiting. So let's talk about the first one briefly here, this one called Schedule Workflow. Well, if you think about its name, you can probably figure out what it does. What this schema element does is it allows your workflow to cause another workflow to be invoked at some future time and date. So I'll show you how to do that in the very next video. And in the videos that follow, we'll be talking about things like sleeping. These 2 schema elements allow you to do sleeping. If you use the first one, the scriptable task, you will have to write JavaScript code. But fear not, even though you'll have to write JavaScript code into this scriptable task, it's really easy. I'll show you exactly how to do that. On the other hand, if you use the sleep schema element, it's a predefined element. We write the code for you. So all you have to do with the sleep schema element is feed in a variable that contains the number of seconds that you want your workflow to sleep. And then the remaining schema elements that you see here allow you to perform waiting from your Orchestrator workflow. And again, we'll talk about each of these in the upcoming videos. But before we jump any further, just a few words about the concepts of scheduling, sleeping, and waiting. So why do we need to schedule? Why do we need to sleep? Why do we need to wait? Well, scheduling is pretty straightforward. Sometimes you have a workflow that you want to launch at some future time and date. And you don't want to have to be there on site at the Orchestrator client and actually start that workflow. You want it to start automatically. So I'll show you how to do that in the next video. On the other hand, sometimes you want to cause your workflow to sleep for a certain number of seconds or wait for some sort of event to occur. Now, sleeping is oftentimes done in Orchestrator workflows when your Orchestrator workflow contacts some external system. Maybe it's a provisioning system, maybe it's an IPAM, maybe it's a CMDB, could be any type of system. Maybe it's a backup system. But sometimes when your Orchestrator workflow contacts some external system and asks the external system to do something, the external system will reply back, okay, I'm on it, I'm doing it, but they don't necessarily all let you know when they're done. So what you can use the sleep for is to interject the necessary amount of time sleeping so that your workflow will give that external system enough time to complete whatever it is you asked it to do. On the other hand, all these different wait techniques that we'll be talking about are really useful when you have multiple workflows that need to coordinate with each other or synchronize their behavior with each other. So for instance, you may have one workflow that is sitting around waiting for another workflow to complete some tasks that it's performing. So again, in the later videos in the series, I'll show you exactly how to use those. So again, this is what's on our agenda. We're going to learn how to schedule within your workflows, how to sleep within your workflows, and how to wait within your workflows. In the next video, I'll show you how to do scheduling in your Orchestrator workflows.